الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وكفى ثم الصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى وبعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Inshallah, today is the 8th day of Ramadan. Subhanallah, days are running very quick. May Allah Almighty allow us to see the ending of Ramadan. Ameen. And today is the 30th of April. Today is the 1st of May. Okay, I'm behind. All right. Today is May 1st, 2020, and we are continuing our Tafsir class on Surah Qalam, and we are still working on the verse number 4, where He the Most High said, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. Indeed, you Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are upon a great noble character. And we mentioned that we will, inshallah, expound on a hadith that mention the character of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Today we will mention few hadith as our noble scholar Imaam al-Asbahani mentioned in his book Akhlaq al-Nabi, the character of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, we can learn a lot from this. From the hadith that he mentioned is the hadith of Muawiyah ibn al-Hakim, who said, "Sallaytu ma'a Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fa'aqasa rajulun min al-qawm." He said, I prayed with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and one of the Musallin sneezed while we were what? Praying. So when he sneezed, what do you say to someone if he sneezes?
No, bless you.
Bless you? Yarhamukallah, right? Almost the same, right? You're asking Allah to have mercy on that individual. You say, Yarhamukallah. So he said to him, Yarhamukallah, while they were praying. You say, when I said that, Raman al-Qawm bi-absarihim, the people turned and looked at me, they gave me a mean look, like, what's up with you, man? We're praying and you say, Yarhamukallah. So when he saw that they gave him a mean look, he was like, why are you looking at me like that? He did not he continued to talk. So why are you guys looking at me like that? And this is in the middle of what? Prayer, right? وَضَرَبُوا بِأَيْدِيهِمْ عَلَى أَفْخَاذِهِمْ. So they started what? Hitting their thighs with their hands to signal to me that, hey, you can't speak in the prayer, right? فَضَرَبُوا بِأَيْدِيهِمْ عَلَى أَفْخَاذِهِمْ فَلَمَّا رَأَيْتُهُمْ يُسْمِتُونِي. He said, when I saw that they are trying to silence me, I remained what? Silent. Because I realized they're trying to silence me. So I remained silent. Lakinni sakat, I remained silent. He said, when the prayer was over, da'ani an-nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the Prophet called me, right? He said, Muawiyah, come over. When I came, Muawiyah said, bi-abi huwa wa ummi, I will ransom him with my father and my mother. And this is the expression of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whenever they talk to the Prophet, they say, bi-abi anta wa ummi, meaning, afdika bi-abi wa ummi, I will ransom you with my mother and my father. And then he said, ma ra'aytu mu'alliman ahsana ta'liman minhu. I've never come across a teacher who is good in his teaching than the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I've never come across a best teacher like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, Ma darabani, he did not hit me. Wa ma sabbani, he did not insult me or yell at me. Rather, he said to me, Inna hadhihi salah la yaslah fiha shay'un min kalam al-nas, innama huwa at-tasbihu wa at-takbiru wa at-tahmid. He said to me, know that you cannot speak in this what? In this prayer. This prayer, what the words that are suitable for the prayer is what? At-tasbih, subhanallah, at-takbir, Allahu Akbar, at-tahmid, alhamdulillah. So look at how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam approach him. This is how you approach someone who does not know. You're not supposed to approach people with harshness and sterness. Sometimes, there are new shahada people who don't know what they're doing. When you see a situation like this, you just have to teach them in a nice way. But don't address them as if they already know what they're supposed to do. This is not how things go. That's what Allah Almighty said about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. If you were to be stern and harsh and stone-hearted, your companions would have scattered away from you, because nobody want to come around someone who is mean and rude and stern and harsh, right? People want you to treat them with leniency. That's what the Prophet said, مَا كَانَ اللِّينُ فِي شَيْءٍ إِلَّا زَانَ. Whenever there is leniency in something, it beautifies it. وَمَا نُزِعَ مِنْ شَيْءٍ إِلَّا شَانَ. Whenever leniency is snatched or removed from a matter or an affair, it uglifies it. So leniency is beautification, and harshness is what? Uglification. So we ask Allah the Almighty to adorn us with the quality of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his teaching the people. Amen. And again, like I said, this is how you approach someone who does not know. It is also narrated by Anas radiallahu anhu, and this also is teaching us how the Prophet handled situation of people who misbehave out of ignorance. So كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قاعدا في المسجد. The Prophet was one day sitting in the masjid, he and his companions. إذ جاء أعرابي, and behold, a Bedouin man came, فبال في المسجد, and he urinated in the masjid. فقال أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم مهما. And the companions of the Prophet was like, yo. I mean, didn't I say yo? Like, yo, stop. Like, what you doing? They be like, what you doing? Stop it. And they rush on him, right? When they rush on him, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to them, Da'u, leave him. La tuzrimuhu. Do not even cut him from pain. Let him finish what? Urinating. This is the mercy of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because if this man is to hold his pee in the middle of pain, it's probably gonna harm him and hurt him. He'll end up having some problems with his bladder. So the Prophet said, leave him, let him finish what? Paying. When he was done paying, the Prophet called him and he said to him, Inna hadhihi al-masajid, and this masajid la tasluh li shay'in min al-qadr. It's not a place of filthiness, right? It is not a place of bawl wal khala. It's not a place of urinating or defecating. Aw kama qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. In another narration, the Prophet has commanded them to pour, a bucket of what? Of water at the spot that the man pays. Again, this is teaching us the leniency of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how he approached teaching people who do not know. So when the Arabi saw this from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he thanked the Prophet, and then he walked out and grabbed his what? Donkey, and then he said, Allahumma arhamni wa Muhammadan wa la tarham ma'ana ahad. So, oh Allah, have mercy on me and Muhammad alone. But those who were around him, do not have mercy on them. Why? Because they rush on him, they yell at him, they scream at him. But then the way he saw the approach of the Prophet is that, oh Allah, have mercy on me and Muhammad alone. When the Prophet heard him making this dua, the Prophet said, لَقَدْ ضَيَّقْتَ وَاسِعًا. He said, you have indeed narrowed something that is spacious. What did he narrow that is spacious? The mercy of Allah the Almighty, right? Because Allah the Almighty said, وَرَحْمَتِي وَسِعَتْ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. My mercy encompasses everything. Our noble scholar Imaam al-Qurtubi said, when this verse was revealed, طَمِعَ فِيهِ كُلُّ شَيْءٍ. Everything put its hope in this what? In this verse. Even Shaitan put his hope. And he said, I am also something. So most likely the mercy of Allah the Almighty will reach me. That is why we are not supposed to give up hope in the mercy of Allah the Almighty. So we ask Allah the Almighty to grant us understanding of the deen. Amen. Anas also narrated, he said, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا فقد الرجل من أصحابه أو إخوانه ثلاثة أيام سأل عنه. So the Prophet ﷺ used to, when he did not see some of those who frequent his sitting, if he did not see them for 3 days, he know that something is what? Is wrong. Because he is someone who frequently comes to the masjid. But if it is somebody who comes maybe once every month, maybe that is the norm. But if somebody that you see him all the time, and then you did not see him, like you guys are together almost all the time, and he did, like I said, did not hear from you 2 days, 3 days, he'd be like, no, something is what? It's wrong. He has to reach out to find out what is going on. So he said the Prophet ﷺ, even if he did not see somebody who frequently his sitting for 3 days continuously, he will ask about him. فَإِنْ كَانَ غَائِبًا دَعَى. And if he knows that the person is absent, meaning he is traveling, he will make dua for that individual. And this is one of the best dua you make for somebody in his what? In his absence. Our scholar said, مَنْ أَرَادَ أَنْ يَدْعُوَ اللَّهَ بِلِسَانٍ لَا يَعْصِ اللَّهِ فَلْيَدْعُوَ لِأَخِيهِ بِظَاهِرِ الْغَيْبِ. They said, whoever wants to invoke Allah, whoever wants to make dua with a tongue that does not commit sin, that he should make dua for his brother in his absence. What do they mean by this statement? How can he make dua to Allah the Almighty with a tongue that does not commit sin? Can any of you explain this?
Meaning, is no intention behind making the dua except that it's sincere.
All right, he said because the dua is what? Sincere. But a sincere tongue also commit what? The person can be sincere, right, in his dua. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that he is faultless, because no one is faultless. All sons of Adam commit sin. The only faultless child is who? The Messiah is the son of what? Mary. And the Anbiya in general are ma'sumun. They are also what? Faultless. So that's a good explanation, but it's not the right explanation. You know the answers. All right. When you make dua for your brother in his absence, who makes dua for you? What do they say? And to you, the like of that which you ask for your brother. So you are making dua for your brother in his absence. But in reality, you are making dua for yourself with a tongue that does not commit sin. And the tongue that doesn't commit sin is the tongue of the what? Do the angels commit sin? No. You understand? So when the companions understand this, the Salaf, the predecessors, they will write down the names of their loved ones. When they rise up in the night to pray, they will call them by name and ask Allah the Almighty, have mercy on this, forgive this, fulfill his what? Need. Because they know the benefit behind doing that. So when you make dua for your brother in his absence, in reality, you are making dua for yourself with a tongue that does not commit sin, and that is the tongue of the angels. So we ask Allah the Almighty to make us like that. Amen. So the Prophet,
does that apply to one's parents? Let's say your mom and dad, maybe they are passed, okay, and you make dua for them. Does the same thing apply?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. It's good deeds. You make dua for your parent, the angels make dua for you into the like of that. Anyone you make dua for. You know, one thing you have to understand, dua by itself is an act of what? Worship. As a matter of fact, the Prophet said, "Ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah." Dua is the actuality of worship. Because when you make dua, you're expressing what? Humility. You're expressing your need to Allah the Almighty. You say, "Oh Allah, you are the one who is capable. I'm weak. You are the one who is rich. I'm poor. You are the one who is independent. I'm the one who is in need." So in reality, you are expressing humility. You're humbling yourself. That's why they said you raise the palm of what? Humbleness to Allah the Almighty. Asking Allah. So this is the actuality of the word ibadah. The word ibadah actually means what? Humility. It means what? Humility and humbleness. That is why the best position a person is in his prayer is when you are in the state of sujood. Because when you make sujood, you are expressing absolute what? humility and humbleness, because the most honorable part of your body is your what? Your face. That's why the Prophet said, do not hit the face, even when you're fighting somebody. You know, if you discipline your child, you can hit him from his, but do not what? Hit the face. Stay away from the face. Now, all right. So when kana ga'iban da'ala, if the person is absent, traveling, he make dua for him. Wa in kana shahidan zara, and if the person is what? Present, he will go and visit him. This is the Chinese say, don't ask about me, visit me, right? It's a saying of the Chinese. And if you really love me, don't just, oh, I was asking about you. No, when you did not see me, you should what? You should visit me. But we live in a different time now. If you pop up at someone's door, like, what's up, man? You don't have no cell phone or something. You know, call me before you come, right? But it shouldn't be like that. But again, we live in an era in which things have what? Changed. So you have to adapt with the changes. So call and find out. If you couldn't reach out to that individual, then you can walk to the house or wherever and express your concern to that individual. So the Prophet ﷺ will visit that person if he knows that he is there. Maybe he is sick or whatever the situation is. Like it happened with one of his companions who lost his child. You know, he used to frequent the gathering of the Prophet ﷺ, and then he lost his child. So due to that, he remained home. He did not come. So the Prophet did not see him, and the Prophet asked, where is this man who used to come, you know, with his child? And the companion said, O Messenger of Allah, the child that he used to bring, his son that he used to bring to your gathering passed away. This is the reason why he remained home. So the Prophet said, why did you not inform me? Immediately the Prophet said, Qumu ila akhikum nu'azzin. Rise up, let us go and condole your brother. So they went to his house. And the Prophet saw him in a state of what? Sadness. When the Prophet saw this, the Prophet said to him, would you be glad to come on the day of judgment? And Allah the Almighty will say to your son, Udkhul al-Jannah, enter Jannah. And your son will say, Ya Rabb, Abi, O my Lord, my father. And Allah will say to the boy, Udkhul al-Jannah, enter Jannah. And the boy will say, Ya Rabb, Abi, O my Lord, my father. And the Lord Almighty will say to him the third time, he will refuse to enter Jannah without his father. And the Lord will say, hold by the hand of your father, and both of you enter what? Jannah. So he intercede for his father. So the Prophet is telling us that if you are patient and seek the reward of your patience from Allah, Allah the Almighty will grant you the intercession of your son on the day of judgment. When the Prophet said this to the man, he was filled with what? With happiness and joy. And that removed the pains and the anxiety and the grievance that he was going. And this is the goal behind condolences. You know, when you go to condole somebody, do not go there and say things that will hurt his what? Feeling. Like, man, why did Allah the Almighty take him? He's the best child that she had, man. You understand? You know, he could have taken any one of us, but why did he take it? You don't say stuff like this to me.
It was one gathering where the person said, man, we don't know if Allah going to give them hell or Jannah, but we asked for his Jannah because, you know, it wasn't all the way straight. So
Who speaks like this? You understand?
silly people.
But like them all. And subhanAllah. You know, when a person passes away, we ask for absolute what? Mercy for that individual. You know, may Allah have, because you will not want a dog to be thrown into the what? Fire. Let alone a human being who say La ilaha illallah. Ask forgiveness for that individual. You understand? And hope that Allah Almighty will have, because one day you will end up in that position. You know? So when somebody dies, you have to make sincere dua for that individual, because one day when you die, you never know. Allah the Almighty will assign somebody to make sincere dua for you, just as you make for your brother. So let's hope good for our brothers. وَإِنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا عَادًا. And if the person is sick, the Prophet will make iyada of him. He will visit him. And the difference between the word ziyarah and iyada, did you get the difference here? The Prophet said, in kana shahidan zara, وَكَانَ مَرِيضًا عَادَ. Okay, in Arabic word language, they use the word ziyar as visit, and ada is ayada. It also means what? Visit, but it's from the derivative of the word ada ya'ud. Ada means return. So for the sick person, it is recommended to don't visit him one time and say, I have visited him. No, go back again and visit him. Go back again and visit him. If somebody is sick, you visit him, maybe the sickness is not over yet. A day, 2 days later, go back again and what? And visit him. That's why they use the term iyada for the sick person and ziyarah for the one who is not sick. But both means ziyarah, which is a visit. And Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu, again, this express how the Prophet ﷺ is concerned about the situation of his companions. And this is another hadith that also addressed that. And this hadith is narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. Abu Hurairah, may Allah have mercy on his soul, I don't think a day or a minute will pass by without the name of Abu Hurairah being mentioned under the surface of this word, sky. Because he narrated almost, majority of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, despite the fact that he was one of the poorest companions. But where is the poverty that he underwent? It's over. Where is the pains that he underwent? It's over. But today, his name is being what? Mentioned. And whenever his name is mentioned, what do we say? Radiallahu anhu. We are making dua for him constantly. And whoever benefit from what he transmitted to us, he gets what? A reward. Abu Hurairah did not live the luxury life that we are living. You understand? So Abu Hurairah said, "In kuntu la ashuddu al-hajar ala batni min al-ju'." So sometimes I'll put a rock and tie it to my stomach due to what? Hunger. Like you would not have. Could you imagine waking up? There is no food, and you don't know who to go and ask, because all those who are around you are also what? Are also poor. So he said, sometimes I tie a rock to my stomach due to hunger. And sometimes I will lean my hands to the ground, due to hunger. Like, meaning his stomach is what? It's hurting. But today, our complaint is because maybe, we don't have, new sneakers to wear. Right? We see that somebody has sneakers that is better than ours, and we like, man, shoot, I don't have the money to get this. That is our complete secondary things, material things. Abu Hurairah said, وَلَقَدْ قَعَدْتُ يَوْمًا عَلَى طَرِيقِهِمُ الَّذِي يَخْرُجُونَ فِيهِ. So one day, while I was going through this severe hunger, I sat down on their pathway, which the companions of the Prophet usually what? Pass by. So while I was sitting, مر بي أبو بكر رضي الله عنه. Abu Bakr came and passed by me. فسألته عن آية من كتاب الله. And I asked him about a verse from the book of Allah the Almighty. Abu Hurairah said, ما سألته إلا ليستتبعني. He said, I did not ask him about the verse because I don't know the verse. I know the verse very well. But I asked him about the verse. Hopefully, as he talked to me, he will be able to identify, and detect my situation and be like, what, this guy needs some food. Let me go and what? Feed him, right? But he said Abu Bakr unfortunately did not know. He did not notice what is wrong with me, And then Abu Bakr passed by. He was like, man, this guy walked away. And this is telling you how abstinent the companions are. They don't want to ask. They don't want to ask, even though he's in a difficult what? Situation. But he's just hoping that Allah the Almighty will help him without him having to ask. Because asking is something that is strictly disliked in Islam. A case of what? Necessity. If you are in a case of necessity, you ask. But if you are not, then you should not what? Ask. That's why Ahmed ibn Hanbal used to say in his dua, Ya Rabb, كما صنت وجهي عن السجود عن غيرك فصلها عن مسألة غيرك. You say, oh my Lord, just as you protected my face from making sujood for someone other than you, protect my face from asking someone other than you. You know, sometimes people get into situation. They need help. They come to you as your brother, you help them. And this is part of establishing what? The brotherhood. You understand? Allah the Almighty tests some of us with the others. If you're able to help your brother, that shows that your brotherhood with him is what? Genuine. You know, the friend in need is the friend indeed, right? So situations happen. But the companions, even with that, they would not want to ask. And he said, Omar also came and passed by. And I asked him about a verse in the Quran, not because I did not know it, but hopefully he will notice what is my situation. But Omar also walked away and did not notice. So sometimes you have to make excuses for people. So, you know, sometimes some people get angry because people we're not able to read their minds. We are not mind readers. You understand? If you do not tell me what is wrong with you, I will not be able to know. You know, so if you are with somebody who is dear to you, express your need to that individual. Show us the man. Wa alaikum assalam. Show al bayan. All right. So he said Omar also did not notice. He walked away. Alhamdulillah. While he was still sitting, he said, Marra Abul Qasim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The Prophet came and passed by. And Abul Qasim is the kunya of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Qasim is the first child of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What are his other children? Quick test. Hassan and Hussein are his grandchildren. Fatima, Ibrahim. Yes, see, you forget? No. You're processing it. So we have Qasim, we have Ibrahim, we have Abdullah. These are 3 boys, right? And then we have Fatima, Zainab, Ummu Kulthum, Ummu Kulthum, and Ruqayya. Remember Ruqayya, right? So 4 girls and 3 boys. And all of these children are from who? Khadija. Except one of them, and that is Ibrahim, who is from Maria al-Qibtiyya. Alright? So Abu Qasim is a kunya of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when the Prophet passed by, he was able to what? Notice what is wrong with me. You know, this is what a good leader is. You know, he observed. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam noticed what was wrong with me, and he tabassama. So the Prophet what? Smiles. You know, and this is good news. You know, you want to smile at people to make them feel better. You know, but if somebody's already going through a difficult situation, you don't want to come to them, oh, what's wrong with you? You're only worsening the situation. No, you have to be optimistic. Even though you think the Prophet have a lot of food in his house? No. And you will find out as we move on. But the Prophet still what? He still smiled. To be optimistic. Don't worry, Abu Hurairah. You'll be alright, right? So he said the Prophet smiled at me, and then he said to me, Ya Aba Hirrin Ilhaq. He said, oh Abu Hurairah, come on, follow me. قال فاتبعته, and I followed the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فدخل, and he entered upon his family. فاستأذنت فأذن لي. So I asked permission to enter, and permission was granted for me, so I entered in his house with him. فوجد لبنا في قدح. So the Prophet found what? Milk in a bowl. This is all that the Prophet has in his house. And the milk was given to him as a hadiyah, gift. Right? فَوَجَدَ لَبَنًا فِي قَدَحٍ. So he found milk in a bowl. And then he asked his family, أَنَّ لَكُمْ هَذَا اللَّبَنْ? Where did you get this milk from? قَالُوا أَهْدَاهُ لَكَ فُلَانٍ. They said, Fulan gave it to you as a gift. فقال يا أبا هر. So the Prophet turned to me and said, "Oh Abu Hurairah, انطلق إلى أهل الصفة فدعوهم لي." Go, proceed to the people of Sufa and invite them to come over. I mean, Abu Hurairah, he found the milk, right? To him, oh my, alhamdulillah, I found milk. I'm going to drink. I'm good. And then the Prophet said, no, go out. Go and call the people of Sufa. You're not drinking this alone. And Abu Hurairah said, فَأَحْزَنَنِي. When the Prophet said that to me, immediately I felt sad. He did not even lie. He was like, man, I was worried. I'm like, man, I thought I'm going to have this milk to drink. Now the Prophet is telling me to go and call the people of Sufa. وَأَهْلُ Sufa of Islam. And the people of Sufa, they are the new, they are the reverends. They just, new shahada. They just became Muslims. And some of them, when they become Muslim, they are abandoned by their families, so they don't have a place to be. So what do? لا يعبون إلى أهل. They don't have family. ولا مال. They don't have money. They're poor. They're the poorest people of Medina. So what do? They go and build a tent in the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ. This is where they live. إذا جاءته صدقة. When people give sadaqah, which is charity, to the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet will give it to them, because the Prophet doesn't eat sadaqah. The Prophet only take what? Hadiyah, gift. And what's the difference between hadiyah and charity?
Sadaqah is with need.
Sadaqah is with need, and hadiyah. Exactly. So charity goes to someone who is in need, who is poor. But hadiyah is not necessary. You can give gifts to Hajj, even though he is rich. MashaAllah. May Allah increase you. You can still, give a gift, gift card, get some Starbucks coffee or Dunkin' Donut, This is, the reason being is because it strengthens the love and the brotherhood between us. That's why the Prophet said, Tahadu tahabu. He said, exchange gifts, because exchanging gifts, it creates what? Love. If the love is not there. And it strengthens love if the love is already what? If the love is already there. So this is one of the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he said when a gift came to him, he will call them and he will share the gift with them. وَلَمْ يَرْزَ مِنْهَا شَيْءٍ وَإِذَا جَاءَتْهُ هَدِيَّةٌ أَرْسَلَ إِلَيْهِمْ فَأَشْرَكَهُمْ فِيهَا فَأَصَابَ مِنْهَا قَالَ فَأَحْزَنَنِي إِرْسَالُهُ إِيَّايَ. So I was worried and I was very sad that the Prophet sent me to go and call them. وَقُلْتُ, and I said to myself, أَرْجُو أَنْ أَشْرَبَ مِنْ هَذَا اللَّبَنِ شَرْبَةً أَتَغَذَّى بِهَا. I was hoping to drink from this milk enough to what? To quench my thirst and satisfy my hunger. But unfortunately, أَنَّا لِهَذَا مِنْ أَهْلِ الصُّفَّةِ. How can I get enough to drink from this milk when these people would come over? Whoever was being real, he was not even, trying to fake it. No, he's being real. He said, how can I get enough from this milk to drink from the people of Sufa? وَأَنَا الرَّسُولِ. He said, what made it even worse is that I am the one whom the Prophet sent to go and what? Get them. Which means if they come, I'll be the one who will serve them. And therefore I'll be the last person to what? To drink from the milk. Subhanallah. Abu Hurairah said, فَإِذَا جَاءُوا أَمَرَنِي فَكُنْتُ أَنَا أُعَطِيهِمْ. And when they come, I will be the one who will serve them. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ فِي طَاعَةِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ وَطَاعَةِ اللَّهِ But, and I don't have any option but to obey and submit to the command of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَانْطَلَقْتُ إِلَيْهِمْ. So I proceeded to them, فَدَعَوْتُهُمْ, and I called them. فَأَقْبَلُوا, and they arrived. فَاسْتَأْذَنُوا, and they asked permission to enter. فَأُذِنَ لَهُمْ, and permission was granted for them. فَأَخَذُوا مَجَالِسَهُمْ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ. So each and every one of them took a sitting spot in the house. وَقَالَ يَا أَبَا هِرٍّ قُلْتُ لَبَّيْكَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. So the Prophet said, "Oh Abu Hurairah," and I said, "Labbayk, here I am, O Messenger of Allah." قَالَ قُمْ فَأَعْطِهِمْ. He said, "Rise up and serve them." So what Abu Hurairah was speculating was the right. So he rise up, he said, فَأَخُذُ الْقَدَى, and I grabbed the bowl of milk, and I will pass it to one of them, and he would drink it until when he is satisfied, he will give it to me, and I'll pass it to the second person. And I did that until each and every one of them drank from that bowl of milk. When they're done, the Prophet ﷺ looked at me, and then he said, Ya Aba Hurairah. He smiled, right? Tabassama, he smiled. And then he said to me, Uq'ud, sit down. Faka'at, so I sat down. And he said, drink. Fasharib, so I drank. And when I finished drinking, I gave it to him. He said, drink more. And I drank more. And I gave it back and he said, no, drink more. And I said to the Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, Wallahi la ajidu laha maslaka. O Messenger of Allah, by Allah, I don't have anywhere space for more. And the Prophet ﷺ smiled. Then the Prophet collected the bowl from him and drank from it. I mean, it's a lot of lesson that we take from this hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. The first is, like I said, you know, despite the fact that Abu Hurairah is one of the best of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, he's one who accumulated for us the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, but he still went through severe what? Poverty. This is telling you this dunya is what? It's nothing. Being poor or being rich has nothing to do with Allah the Almighty loving you. What matters is how close are you to Allah. And the second is this dunya, no matter what hardship you go through, one day it will what? It will be over. Where's Abu Hurairah today? He's gone. The hardship that he went through is over. But his name is still being what? Mentioned. And we still make dua for Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. Another thing we learn from it is the humbleness of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how he invite people to his home. Even the poorest of the poor, he invited them to his home. They take their sitting spot in the house of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Second, third, the Prophet he shares what Allah the Almighty has given him. A fourth, this is also one of the miracles of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that indicate that the Prophet is a true messenger of Allah, because he was able to feed this number of people with just a small milk. You know, I mean, a little milk is a small one, bowl, but all these people drank from it. So this indicates on the miracle of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is something we call mu'jiza. Miracle is what? Mu'jiza. And there is different form of extraordinary things that happen. When extraordinary thing happen in the hand of a prophet, we call it miracle. But if an extraordinary thing happen in the hand of a sinner, you understand, someone who is not obedient to Allah the Almighty, we don't call this miracle. What do we call this? Istidraj. It's istidraj. It's enticements. You know? You see some people, they use the jinn to create extraordinary things, and they call it what? Miracle. But this is not miracle. We've come across people like this, you know, people who claim they are men of God, but they use jinn, and they perform miracle, and people will see it. But in reality, if this happened as miracle, it's not called miracle, it is enticement. Allah the Almighty is enticing them until when He seizes them, they will not be able to run away. And this is the same thing that will happen to Dajjal, because Dajjal will come with an extraordinary things. He will command, you know, a dead person to rise up from his grave, and the dead person will rise up. He will cut someone into two and walk between the body, and then ask the person to come back to life, and the body will join and come back to life. All this is what? It's a test, enticement. It's a test that Allah the Almighty is testing them. So if this extraordinary thing goes negative, not positive, meaning not what people are expecting it to be, in the hand of someone who is a disbeliever or someone who is a sinner, then we call this ihan. Allah Almighty is humiliating that individual. And this happened to Musaylamatul Kadhab. Musaylamatul Kadhab is one of those who claim prophethood during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he said to the Prophet, deal with the people of Mecca and Medina. I will deal with the people of what? Yamama. Right? So his people said to him, all right, the Prophet has Quran. We should also create some Quran for us. Where is your book? And he started making up what? Quran of his own. And he would say, Al-filu mal-fil, wa ma adraka mal-fil, al-fil hayawan dakham, lahu ra'sun kabir. He make up stuff. The elephant, what is the elephant? What will make you know what the elephant is? The elephant is a big what? Giant animal with big head. He's trying to imitate the Quran, but it doesn't make any sense. So a lady brought her child to him who has problem with his hair. Some of his hair is going what? Bald. So she asked him, make dua to put verses because the Prophet make dua for people and Allah the Almighty heal them. When he put his hand on the head of the boy lost all of his what? His hair and became what? Absolutely what? Bald head. So this is ihana. It's an extraordinary. This is something that is extraordinary, right? But in a negative way. Allah the Almighty is trying to what? Allah wants to humiliate him, that individual. So again, if you see extraordinary things happening, it's not all extraordinary things is a miracle. And sometimes extraordinary things happen from somebody who is not a prophet, but a pious man. And this is what we call kirama. Kiramatul awliya. Like it happened to the people of the cave, Ashab al-Kahf. They slept in the cave for how long? 300 years and 9 days. Right? Wazadu tis'a. This is not something that is not it's out of the norm. But Allah the Almighty honored them with that honor because of who they are. And like Umar ibn al-Khattab, when he was in Medina, and he was talking to the army outside Medina, telling to Sariya, Ya Sariyat al-Jabal, because Allah the Almighty showed him that the enemies are coming from behind the mountain to attack the believers. So Omar called, Ya Sariyat al-Jabal, and Ya Sariya ilzam al-Jabal, O Sariya, go and defend the Muslims from the what? From the mountainside. And Sariya said he heard the call of what? Umar radiallahu anhu. So this right here is a karama. Umar is not a prophet, but it is an honor that Allah the Almighty gave these pious men. And it happened to many people. And the karama continues until the day of judgment. It is sometimes, if you're a good person, you'll see some amazing things happening in your life. And you'll be like, no, this cannot happen by chance. It's not my ability. This is just out of my control. This is an honor that Allah the Almighty is what? Is honoring you with. So we ask Allah the Almighty to grant us understanding of the deen. Amen. Alright. We will read this hadith also. This hadith is narrated by Abi Hurairah as well, who said, أن أعرابيا جاء إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يستعينه في شيء فأعطاه شيئا. He said a Bedouin man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asking him for help, right? And the Prophet gave him some help. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هل أحسنت إليه? Then the Prophet said, am I kind enough for you? And the man said, لا, no you're not. ولا أجملت, you have not done well. You do not do anything. What is this? You understand? He belittled what the Prophet has given him. There is a saying that says there is no choice for a beggar. If you're begging, anything that comes to your way, just take it. But you come to the Prophet asking for help and he gave you what he has, and then you said no. What is this? He belittled what the Prophet gave him. And then Ghadib al-Muslimun, the companions were very angry and upset. Waqamu ilayhi, and they jumped to him like, what are you? Who are you? Why are you talking to the Prophet in this manner? فَأَشَارَ إِلَيْهِمْ أَنْ كُفُّوا. But the Prophet, he signaled to them saying, Just take it easy. Hold on. Back up. Do not do anything. قال Abu Huraira. Abu Huraira said, ثم قام النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فدخل منزله. Then the Prophet rise up and enter into his home to see what he has. ثم أرسل إلى الأعرابي. And then he called someone to call the Arabi to come to his house. فدعاه إلى البيت. And the Prophet invited him to his house. فقال إنك جئتنا فسألتنا. The Prophet said, you came to us and you asked us for help. فأعطيناك. And we gave you the help. فقلت ما قلت. And you said what you say. You know, you said what you said. The Prophet will want to repeat what he said. فزاده رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم شيئا. Then the Prophet gave him more. ثم قال. Then the Prophet said to him, أحسنت إليك. Now have I done, well, did I do good enough to you? قال الأعرابي إيه؟ نعم. وبارك الله فيك وجزاك الله من أهل وعشيرة. Then the Arabi man said, yes, you have done what? Well. And may Allah the Almighty reward you with good. فقال له النبي. Then the Prophet said to him, إنك كنت جئتنا. You came to us. فسألتنا. And you asked us. فأعطيناك. And we gave you. وقلت ما قلت. And you said what you said. وإن في أنفس أصحابي شيء من ذلك. Now my companions, they have some ill feeling towards you because of what came out of your mouth. Therefore, would you go out there and say to my companions, you are pleased with me, so that they will have what? Good heart. The ill feeling that they have in their hearts towards you will clear. And the Qadar man said, "What? Yes, I will do that." Qala Ikrimah, Qala Abu Huraira. Abu Huraira said, فَلَمَّا كَانَ الْغَدُ أَوَ الْعَشِيِّ. Is that the next day the man came, the Prophet ﷺ came with the man, and then he said, إِنَّ صَاحِبَكُمْ هَذَا. Your companion, this companion of yours, كَانَ جَاءَنَا. He came to us, فَسَأَلَنَا. And he asked us, فَأَعْطَيْنَاهُ. And we gave him what he asked. وَقَالَ مَا قَالَ. And he said what he said, وَإِنَّا دَعَوْنَاهُ إِلَى الْبَيْتِ. We invited him to our home and we gave him more, and he, said that he's now pleased. أَكَذَلِكَ. Are you pleased? The Prophet is asking the Bedouin in the presence of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَقَالَ الْعَرَبِيُّ نَعَمْ. And the Bedouin man said, yes, I am pleased. فَجَزَاكَ اللَّهُ مِنْ أَهْلٍ وَعَشِيرًا. Therefore may Allah the Almighty reward you with good. قال Abu Huraira. Abu Huraira said, فَقَالَ النَّبِيُّ صلى الله عليه وسلم. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, أَلَا إِنَّ مَثَلِي وَمَثَلَ هَذَا الْأَعْرَابِيِّ كَمَثَلِ رَجُلٍ كَانَتْ لَهُ نَاقَةٌ. So my example and the example of this Bedouin man is like the example of a man who has a camel. فَشَرَّدَ مِنْ. And the camel ran away from him. فَاتَّبَعَهَا النَّاسِ. And the people started to chase the camel. But the more they ran after the camel, the more the camel distanced himself from them, because they chastened after him. So the owner said, "Da'u, leave my camel alone." So what did he do? He grabbed ushbatan min al-ard. He grabbed grass from the ground, and then he said to his camel, "Come over." When the camel saw the grass, the camel turned in, come, and then he grabbed his what? Camel. He said, if the man, the owner of the camel, was to leave the people to run after the camel would have what? Run away, and they would never be able to get hold of him. So the example of the Prophet and this Bedouin man, with the companions to this Bedouin man, is like the example of the owner of the camel and those who are chasing after him. So the Prophet is saying, if I was to leave you alone to rush on this man and like discipline him because of the way he spoke to me, you would have pushed him away from Islam due to your behavior. And it's not because, sometimes something that we have to understand. Just because somebody deserves to be disciplined doesn't mean that he should what? You can discipline him, but with a different approach. The way you will handle him if he made a mistake is not the way you will handle a stranger, because you know him. The way I would talk to you the way the Prophet would talk to Abu Bakr and Umar would not be the way he would talk to a Bedouin man. So you have to know who you're talking to and how you address that individual. That's why when Umar walked into the masjid and he saw two Bedouin men talking. No, actually they're not Bedouin, they're from Ta'if. It's two men. They were talking in the mission of the Prophet and they raised their voice up loud. And Omar said to them, don't you know that you are forbidden from raising your voice in the masjid of Rasulullah in the presence of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Where are you guys from? And they said, we are from Ta'if. And Umar said, if you were from the people of Medina, I would have what? Beating you up, right? So he made excuses for them because they are from the people of what? Ta'if. They did not know better. So this is how you should handle people. Some people, you have to give them to win their heart. Some people, you have to talk to them to win their heart. Some people, you have to what? You have to whip their behind. You know, some people you have to drag them to Jannah. You know, otherwise they're not gonna what? They're not gonna come, even though they want it. So you have to know the hal of the people and know how you approach them. We ask Allah the Almighty to grant us understanding of this deen. Ameen. Inshallah, we'll start here. If you have any comment or any question, we'll take it to the best of our ability and we'll continue in our next session to addressing about the character of the Prophet and how he handled his companions, just so that it will be a lesson for us to take, inshallah. Naam.
That is pertaining to the people of Ta'if. The people of Ta'if, I thought they didn't have Muslims until after the death of the Prophet.
No. The people of Ta'if, they became Muslim in one of the battles. No. This is the people of Thaqif, all right? Yeah, but the people of Ta'if, they also became Muslim. But I don't remember the timeline in the history, but they have become Muslim because they were those whom the Prophet went to, because they are the people of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? So after the death of Khadijah and Abu Talib, the Quraysh, they were harming the Prophet very much. So the Prophet went to the Ta'if, hoping that they will welcome him and listen to him. But when he went to Ta'if and talked to them, it turned out they were worse than the people of what? Mecca. Because what did they do? They gathered the ignorant folk amongst them. Instead of saying to the Prophet, listen, we can't help you. They gathered the ignorant folk among them, and they were chasing the Prophet and stoning the Prophet. And the Prophet was what? Running. And Zayd was with him. So Zayd was trying to block the Prophet from the stones that they were throwing at the Prophet, to the point that the head of Zayd started to what? Bleed from one of the rock. And the ankle of the Prophet was bleeding. This is one of the difficult times that the Prophet went through. This is where the Prophet, he sat down and he was making his dua, asking Allah the Almighty to grant him what? Afiyah. And Jibril came to him and said, what do you want us to do with these people? You want us to smash them between the two mountains? We will do it. The Prophet said, no, don't do it. Perhaps Allah the Almighty will bring from their offspring people who will single Allah the Almighty out along with worship. So the Prophet did make dua that Allah the Almighty will bring from their offspring people who will believe. But they have become Muslim now. And this incident that I'm talking about with the Omar was after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because the Prophet was buried in the masjid. So our scholars said, if you are in the masjid of the Prophet, you still have to speak in a low tone, because of the verse in Surah Al-Hujurat, where the Messiah said, "La tarfa'u aswatakum fawqa sawti an-nabi," do not raise your voice above the voice of the Prophet. So they said the honor of the Prophet remains the same, whether he is dead or alive. So if you are there, part of adopting, good manners and good etiquette with the Prophet is to speak in a low tone in the mention of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wallahu a'la wa a'lam. Now, jazakumullah khairan. أي زيادة؟ حج باو. أي سؤال؟ آمين وإياك. حفظك الله ورعاك. You're the man.
هذا سائل.
نعم. Our iftar is coming today. Allahu Akbar.
Allah yazid.
Allahu Akbar. When you give a fasting person, iftar, it is as if you are fasting. So Ibn Jawzi said, try to fast two fasting in one day instead of what? One, by feeding someone who is fasting. Now I think you're gonna fast how many fasts now? Oh my God, all these people, you get the reward. Allah reward you.
Give me some of the
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We share with you and